Hey, yo, what's up, good people? It's your boy J Russ. We are back with another video, man. Today's video gonna be a little different, man. As of Saturday, September 21st, marked 6 months for me being in the cargo van business, and I figured that I would share with you guys 10 things that I've learned in 6 months of me being a owner operator in the cargo van business. Let's just hop right into it, man. They're not in no particular order, but if I did have to rank one, it would be the first one that I'm gonna give you guys, and that is be professional. For me, I knew that this business, my business, would only go as far as I take it. And so I made sure to make sure that everything I did was professional, man. And when I say be professional, the 3 points that I want to point out, one would be, of course, being on time. Making sure that you're picking up the cargo on time and dropping off on time, man. A lot of the companies, they give you a nice little window. You know, the drive to drop it off may only be a 4-hour drive, but they're gonna give you 7 hours to get there. Just, take your time, get there safely, but make sure that you get there on time. The second point would be following directions. There are some companies that I've delivered to that had strict rules. Your PPEs, you had to wear those, which is your hard hat, your safety vest, your safety goggles, steel toe boots. I even had one company that made me have to wear earplugs. And one client made me sit down and watch a 15-minute safety video. And it was like at 2 o'clock in the morning, and so I could have been goofing around trying to stay awake, but I take this serious, man. So for 15 minutes I sat there and I watched that safety video, even though all I was doing was driving into the dock, getting unloaded and leaving. But that's part of the business, man. You got to be professional. And the last point that I want to hit would be patient, man. Being patient is key in this business. There are times when these clients at these pickup locations and drop off locations are just taking their time, man. There are times where, and for me, I feel like companies, they stay right around the edge of that detention time of waiting for 2 hours. And you just got to be patient, man, and be professional. Let's move on to lesson number 2 that I learned is expediting etiquette or over the road etiquette. I guess it's the same thing. But for me, I had to quickly realize that my cargo van is a commercial vehicle. It's not a regular vehicle. And for the 18-wheelers, the truck drivers that got their CDL license, they look at commercial vehicles as in you should know the proper etiquette over the road. Prime example, for me, if it's a 3-car lane, I like to drive in the middle lane. That's just me. I like to stay in the middle lane. If anything happens, I can go left or I can go right. That's the way I look at it. But I learned that 18-wheelers, if they're on the far right lane and there's a car on the shoulder on the side, they're taught to get over, to give space in case someone's getting out of the car, getting in the car, if a police officer is, at a window giving someone a ticket or anything like that. And so I want to say like 2 weeks ago, I got my butt chewed out a little bit by an 18-wheeler driver, and, it was rightfully deserved, man. I deserve to get chewed out on that one. I rode past the speed trap, and I always look out of my side mirror once I pass by to see if they're pulling out to come and get me or not. When I rode past them, I was going 79 in the 70 mile per hour zone, but I figured I would still be safe. But when I looked, he actually pulled out and he was coming to get me, and my heart dropped. At the same time, my wife is trying to video call me, and the police officer hits his lights, but he shoots past me and he pulls over the guy that's in front of me. And so the guy pulls over up ahead, and to my defense, I'm just glad that he wasn't pulling me over. I forgot that it was an 18-wheeler on the right lane, and now that the officer and the other car is pulling over on the shoulder, that I need to get over to allow the 18-wheeler to get over. Well, I didn't do that because I was just happy that he wasn't pulling me over. And once we got past the police officer and the car that he pulled over, the truck driver definitely let me know. He laid on his horn. I even looked over out my window and he had his hands going. I'm sure he was cussing. And for a little bit, I deserved it. But he just kept going, man. It kind of pissed me off a little bit. But he eventually got off like an exit or two down. And, you know, I just, lesson learned, man. I also learned from a driver that drives the cargo van that I met. He was just stating, you know, if I'm in a left lane and I want to get over in front of a truck, 18-wheeler, you know, if I have my signal light on, you know, just double check, because the truck driver may flash his caution lights, and that is giving me the okay to get in front of them. As well as if an 18-wheeler wants to get over in front of me, I've learned, and I actually did it, I hit my caution light, and he saw that and knew that I gave him the okay to get over. He got over, and to say thank you, he hit his caution light, basically letting me know, like, hey, I saw that, thanks for that, I appreciate it. And hey, that meant the world to me, man. That made me feel like a big truck driver in my little van. But that would be one of the examples I would say for over-the-road expediting etiquette. Lesson number 3 is don't get your oil changed while you have cargo in your van. I delivered a load to Columbus, Ohio from Georgia. Got into Tennessee and decided, hey, I got to get gas. Oh, there's a Valvoline right next to it. Valvoline instant oil change. And I'm like, oh, you know, it's only going to take me 15 minutes at the most. Well, I pull in with cargo in the van on my way to Columbus, Ohio. I pull in to get my oil change, and what should have been 15 minutes turned into a little bit over an hour, like an hour and 10 minutes. Simply because in the process of changing my oil, Valvoline dropped their socket. And so for 45 minutes, they were trying their best to retrieve their socket. And in the end, it took about an hour and 10 minutes. Luckily, it was delivered the next day, so it wasn't a problem. But, you know, just imagine if I only had 2 hours to get there to drop it off, and now I'm stuck at Valvoline for an hour. I would have been late, which is unprofessional. But that would be another lesson that I learned. Lesson number 4. I see this quite a bit, not necessarily in the comments of my videos, but in other people's videos as well. Deadheading is a part of the business, man. There's going to be times where you deliver something to the middle of nowhere. A small town, the factory may be in the middle of a cornfield, and there's nothing else around. If you're not getting anything from where you just dropped off, you're probably going to have to deadhead, man. It's just a part of the business. And a lot of times I've had to deadhead from a location where I wasn't getting anything. I wasn't even getting any load opportunities. And there's been times where I get blessed with, I move to the next big city, and an hour being there, a load pops up and I'm gone again. I'm back on the road. So deadheading is a part of the business. You have to do it. I'm sorry. You can't just sit and wait, especially if the market's not hot in that area. You'll be sitting there all day, man. There's no way that I'm gonna sit and wait for 3-4 days. I can't do that. I'm sorry. Lesson number 5 would be knowing the dimensions of your van, man. Knowing what you can get in and out of your van. One of the main things that I made sure that I got was a high roof van. I had to have a high roof van. With me being 6'3", I want to be able to move around comfortably and not be hunched over, you know. And so there's been times where I've had the opportunity to get a load simply because there was another driver that may have been a little closer, but they may have had a medium roof van. And the client, even if it did fit in the medium roof van, the client asked, hey, we would like to have the driver with the bigger van. And so doing my research, I heard a lot of other owner operators saying, hey, if you can, get a high roof van, get the biggest van you can get, because you're going to get more load. Well, guess what, y'all? That's true. I have gotten quite a few calls where, hey, you're closer. Well, you're not closer, but you have a bigger van than a driver that is closer to the pickup location. So the clients offered it to you. And I'm very appreciative. I've had loads that was 96 inches long. The dimensions from the door to the foot base here is like 145 inches. And I even had cargo that was 145 inches. And luckily it was able to barely fit in here, but it fit. Lesson number 6 for me is it's okay to say no to a load, man. There has been times where Square One would call me and say, hey, John, one just popped up. You're, 100 miles away. You will have to deadhead 100 miles, then you're picking up, and then you're driving, 900 miles to Wisconsin. But, they don't want to pay, $1 a mile. They're looking more at, 85 cents a mile. Well, that doesn't make sense to me, especially when it's close to the end of the week and I know I want to go home for the weekend. No, I don't want to do that because I know I'm going home to spend time with my family, and I have to live with that. Sometimes I'm like, man, I only made $900 this week. My goal is to make 1,000. If I would have did that, yeah, true, but you would have spent money as well on gas. So in the end, for me, I'm okay with deadheading, and I'm okay with saying no at times, man. Lesson number 7 for me is be safe. My main thing is make sure I'm safe to where I can get home to see my family on the weekend. And when I say be safe, I do mean as in far as being smart when you're driving, but I mean be safe with, where you're staying, where you're sleeping. With me sleeping in my van, I have my rules that I go by to make sure that, okay, this is a safe place for me to lay down and go to sleep in my van and not have to worry about someone potentially trying to harm me or steal anything. Because, people see cargo vans. I'm sure they wonder what kind of cargo they're carrying. But, yeah, I would say be safe. Make sure you get home to your family. Lesson number 8 would be keep a set of tools in your van, man. I wasn't deadheading home because I got the load on Friday. But driving home on Friday from Louisville, Kentucky with the freight in my van, I looked up and both of my headlights were out. I had to drive to the next exit with my high beams on. And so I pulled over. Of course, I had my tools, and I was able to go under the hood, fix my headlights, get my headlights going again, and hit the road. As well as, let me see, here. Those I learned with the big Cobalt machine that I had. The measurements from the floor to the door to here is 68 inches. But I learned that if you take those hinges off here, then it's like 70 inches. And those 2 inches helped me get the cargo in and out of my van. Lesson number 9. I won't say this is a lesson, but I joined the group, the Union Network group on Facebook that's ran by Mateo, the freight guy, and Travel Jacob. If you guys haven't joined, go and join, man. They give out great knowledge, as well as they have a Discord where they are sharing information as far as like what carrier companies that they are affiliated with are looking for drivers. And you will be surprised, there are quite a few carrier companies that are associated with that group that are looking for drivers that are a part of that group. So if you're not a member of the Union Network group on Facebook, join. And join the Discord, man. The last one, number 10, is Planet Fitness. I mean, it ain't no lesson learned, but I've lost like 26, 27 pounds since I started my business 6 months ago. Part of that is because I go to Planet Fitness. After every load, I research up and find the nearest Planet Fitness. There have been some small towns that didn't have no Planet Fitness. But that's where I go and shower, do all my hygiene stuff, as well as work out. And so I hope you guys enjoy this video, man. I want to start doing more educational videos, not just showing you guys me picking up freight, dropping freight off, but you know, I'm getting a lot of comments and people are DMing me, asking me for my help, man. I didn't think at 6 months I would be ready to help you guys and give drop knowledge and do that, but I've learned a lot. And what I have learned, I don't mind sharing. And vice versa, man. If you got some knowledge, you got some nuggets, I'm definitely down to take notes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, man. Oh, and by the way, man, please continue to subscribe, like my videos, and comment. Also, I just started a Instagram page for Everyday I'm Rustling, and I'll put that at the bottom. And yeah, man, until next time, bye.
Every day I'm rustling, every day I'm rustling, every day I'm rustling, every day I'm rustling.